I want to talk to you guys about iconoclasm. It's very interesting that when iconoclasts talk about removing images, I have to question their motives, because human beings, by their very nature, love images. We love imagery. No matter where you go, you will find imagery, artwork, cultural imagery, icons for sports teams. People love images. It's part of who we are. And so if you get rid of religious imagery, then you're going to have imagery no matter what. You're going to have posters of the grand leader. You're going to have posters of some political figure that a lot of people worship and adore and revere. It's just inevitable. It reminds me of atheists. Atheists will say people should not believe in the existence of God and blah, blah, because, it's superstition and all this stuff. Yet when atheists take power, they will always lift up, elevate some cult of personality. Take Joseph Stalin, for example. When the Soviet Union invaded Poland, they changed the education system. And they would tell the Soviet communist teachers, they would tell the children, don't believe in God anymore because Stalin is God now. And the teachers sometimes would play this little trick. They would play this little game with the children to manipulate them. They would say, pray to God for some candy. And the children would pray and nothing would happen. And then the teacher would say, now, ask Joseph Stalin for something. And the children would say something. And the teacher would throw a bunch of candy at the kids. And look, Stalin has given you something. Look, children. It was all a way to replace the church with the church of the state, or the cult of personality. I want to read to you guys some excerpts from accounts by Polish people who actually lived in the Soviet Union. They lived in Poland when it was invaded by the Soviet Union. This is from Poland's Holocaust. I just got done reading this book last night, but I'm writing an article about some of the things that are in the book. So I was looking through it today, and dang, I thought there is some interesting stuff in this book that really gets me thinking about the outcomes of an atheist takeover, or the outcomes of an iconoclastic takeover. So here is a recollection by a Polish person who lived as a student, as a child student in Poland when it was invaded by the Soviet Union. And specifically, this person was living in the Tarnopol province. And this is what this person said. They organized the school system, they meaning the Soviets. I started going to school, but what kind of a school could it be without religion, and later without the Polish language? Teachers we didn't know continually tried to convince us that Polish teachers taught us badly, that the history they taught us was false, and that there is no God. And they took down the crosses, and in their place hung portraits of Bolshevik leaders. And then here is another testimony from a Polish person who lived as a child student in Poland. He lived specifically in the Białystok province. This person, I don't know, it could be a she, I'm not sure, but this person said, in school, they were breaking all the portraits, broke down crosses, arrested teachers for being Polish, and sent their own. Those taught to sing songs against God and against Poland and other unheard of things. Here is another testimony from the Sarny County in the Volyn province. They closed the churches. They removed the pictures and crosses in the school because they began teaching in the Russian language now and against God, because later it was forbidden to pray even in silence. Here is another testimony from the Horochov County in Volyn province. In all the schools, they broke the crosses, smashed the portraits, founded clubs, closed churches. They said you shouldn't pray because there is no God. For us, Stalin is God. So the people who were saying don't believe in God are the ones who would try to elevate their own God. See, atheists, they're like anarchists. They're not like anarchists in the sense that they believe in the same thing. But they're like anarchists in the sense that the outcomes of their ideologies are similar. Because when people who say there is no God take over a country and they begin to impose their atheist ideology, they will begin to elevate their own cult of personality. In other words, the ones who say there is no God want to be the God, or they will simply elevate another God, the God of the state, a God of the state, or some kind of cult of personality. When an anarchist says there should be no government, when they take over, they become the government. That's the bottom line. They become the government. It's like iconoclasts. Iconoclasts are people who say that the churches should have no icons, nothing, right? No images of Jesus, the Virgin Mary, the saints, no icons. And they make the church look like some liberal art museum. And believe it or not, if you are not Catholic, if you have gone to a Catholic church, or if you ever go to a Catholic church, and it's a modern type of Catholic church, by modern I mean a Novus Ordo type church, more than likely you're going to see very few images in the church. A lot of Novus Ordo churches are this way. You walk in and it's like you're in some art museum in Philadelphia somewhere. Like, you see some drawing of a saint and it looks like something that would have come out of Berkeley. It's just very modern looking, almost what's the term? Almost like cubist art, or like what do you call it? Futurist artwork. Very modern, very ugly. And you see a lot of this in modern day Catholic churches. The weirdest form of religious artwork that I have ever seen in a Catholic church was, I'm not even sure how to describe it. It was this wooden sculpture that twirled around. It looked kind of like a tree trunk that has a lot of different, that's going a lot of different directions. And it was like this tree trunk looking thing that swirled around, kind of like the tree in I don't know, maybe like the tree in the movie Avatar. It's been years since I've seen that film. But it's just weird looking. And then somewhere in the middle of this entire cluster of whatever, there was a Star of David. It was just bizarre, very bizarre. But I saw this, and it's like, so they want to get rid of all the traditional images, right? They don't like the look of a traditional church. They don't like the look of I don't like using the word traditional, because when you say traditional, then it sounds like you're coming from the SSPX or some trad movement. They don't like the look of a real Catholic church. Let's just put it that way, because that's really what it is. They don't like the look of a real, like, what is a real Catholic church? When you walk into a real Catholic church, you walk in, as soon as you walk in, you smell incense, right? As soon as you walk in, you just smell the smell of burning candles. It's beautiful. You see the candles. Then you see the artwork on the walls, the statues, the images, everywhere you go, holy water. You hear a choir singing, a Gregorian chant. Like, that is the type of atmosphere that you should be in when you walk into a Catholic church, right? But when you walk into these typical modern-day Catholic churches where the priest is more than likely a citizen of Sodom, you're going to see very little images. You may see a cross, on the wall or something like that. You're going to see some artwork that looked like it came out of Sesame Street, but you're not going to get that real authentic feeling. You're not going to get that. And it looks so ugly. So they said, okay, we want to get, they have no candles, no incense, nothing like that. no real Catholic artwork and icons. No, that doesn't. No, it's just walls everywhere, walls and this little cross here and there. But then they'll put some weird image of a tree trunk with a Star of David. Like, what the hell? Where does that even come from? Are you guys Kabbalists? Where does that even come from? It's insane. It's insane. But what's amazing is that they want to get rid of the real Catholic imagery, but then they want to replace it with some pagan-looking artwork. It's crazy. I remember when I was in Italy, I went into this church, and they had this art exhibit within the church's building. So you walked in, there was the main sanctuary, and then there was a back door, right? Behind the altar, you kept going back, there was a door. You open up that door and you kept going, and eventually you would come to this art exhibit. That's what they told me. Oh, it's just an art exhibit. But it was inside the monastery that the church was in. And it was like nude artwork. I remember seeing on this one giant painting, they had this naked guy sitting like laying down with his buttocks pointing to the sky. It was bizarre. It was so bizarre. And I was like, what the hell is this? What is this? What the hell is this? It's crazy. But they want to get rid of the real Christian images. And then they replace it with insanity, with garbage. So really the bottom line is when they say, oh, we should get rid of these old images, what they really mean is we want to get rid of Catholic images. We want to get rid of Christian images. When atheists say, oh, there is no God, people should stop believing in God, what they really mean to say is we want to get rid of the Christian God. Or they want to get rid of anything that appears, that has some sort of Christian semblance. Atheists will even hate Islam. And Islam has definitely Christian influence in it. They want to get rid of all of the traditional religions, but their main target is Christianity. Right? But to be fair, yes, they do hate all religion. Right? They hate on Islam, they hate on Judaism, they hate on all of these religions, but their main target is Christianity. But what they really want to do is make their own religion. They want to make their own religion. When anarchists talk about no government, they want to make their own government. It's just the bottom line. Anyway. You guys just heard some theology. God bless.